Emma, the photo was taken seconds before our lives completely unraveled. A picnic blanket, sunlight, laughter, Ryan holding his juice box, his mom calling him Bug. I remember the moment clearly. He was chasing ducks, giggling, his tiny legs splashing water. He dropped his shoe near the edge of the lake, and then he was gone. No splash, no scream, just silence, the kind that swallows everything. We screamed, searched, strangers joined. Police arrived. Helicopters hovered. Divers went into the lake, over and over. No Ryan, no body, just one small backpack left beside the muddy shore. He was 5, blue eyes, left-handed, mole on his collarbone. I remember everything. And I remember what broke that day. My sister, Lily, his mother, was never the same. Her laughter dried up. Her marriage collapsed slowly. She stopped going near parks, stopped sleeping, started forgetting things. It's been 7 years now. We don't talk about Ryan, not really. Just silent glances, memories that sting too much. Until last Friday, until the knock on my door, I was home alone. Rain outside, laundry humming behind me. I opened the door slowly. And there he was, soaked, shivering, holding nothing. A boy, about 12. Same eyes, same face, but older. He didn't say hi, didn't say help. He looked me in the eye and asked, "Are you my aunt?" My knees almost buckled. My heart stopped mid-beat. I whispered, "Who are you?" He hesitated, then said, "They said my name was Elliot." But I started remembering things. A duck pond, a red kite, a woman singing by the grill. Tears spilled before I realized. Because that was Ryan, that was our picnic. But why did he call me Aunt and not Mom? Why did he find me and not Lily? He didn't look scared, just unsure. He said he'd been told he was adopted, but lately dreams kept coming. Memories of a different life. Our life, I called Lily immediately. She screamed when I told her, then went silent, dead silent. "I thought this day might come," she whispered. And that's when I knew something wasn't right. Something about Ryan's disappearance had never been the full truth. Emma narrating. Lily arrived within the hour, hair tied back, eyes swollen. She didn't knock, just burst. Through my door, breathless, trembling. Ryan or Elliot stood. In the hallway, hands clenched. When she saw him, she froze. No hugs, no crying, just a whisper. "Oh my God." She took a step forward, but he stepped back slowly. "Are you my mom?" He asked, voice cracking. She swallowed, couldn't answer. Instead, she said, "You look so much older." "I am older," he said, "but I remember this house. I remember this room." He pointed at the couch. "The blue one used to squeak. You always yelled when I jumped on it." Lily's knees gave out. I grabbed her. Before she hit the floor, she wept quietly into my shoulder. I didn't know what. To feel joy, terror, confusion, all of it. I asked him to sit, made tea. He liked his playing. Still remembered that. I stared at him long, same cheek dimple, same voice. But something felt different, not wrong, just heavier. He told us what he could remember. Waking up in a strange house, a woman and a man. They said he was adopted. He called them Mom and Dad, but over the years, dreams started. Coming picnic songs, A missing shoe, the scent of grilled corn? I tried asking them. He said, but they told me I was imagining things. One day he searched online, found a photo of Ryan's missing poster. My face looked just like it. So he ran, found a bus, came. Here, that's when I asked, why didn't you call police? He hesitated, then whispered, because I wasn't sure if you were real or a dream. We sat in silence. Lily, still shaking softly. Then I asked him something I shouldn't have. Do you remember what happened that day at the lake? He looked down, started picking at his sleeve. I remember a man, he said. He called me by a name I didn't know. He said Mom told him to take me to the ice cream stand. Lily's face turned white, stone white. Her hands clenched tightly. I don't remember the stand. I remember the woods. It got dark fast. He kept saying I'd be safe now, that Mom was doing the right thing. The room felt like ice. I turned to Lily. She wasn't crying anymore. She wasn't blinking. I said her name twice. She didn't respond. Lily? She finally looked up. I need some air. She walked out. Without shoes? Into the street. Into night. Ryan Elliott looked at me, confused. Did I say something wrong? I shook my head slowly. No, sweetie, you said something true. Next morning, she didn't come home. Lily disappeared like he had vanished into fog. I filed a missing report. Told police the truth, or half of it. They didn't find her car, didn't find her phone, but I found something instead in her closet. A locked box. I cracked it open. Inside, a letter, a photo, a name, a receipt. The receipt was from a motel near the lake, dated 1 week after Ryan's disappearance. The name wasn't hers. The ID had a different face, but I knew that was Lily's handwriting. And the photo, it showed Lily with that man, the one Ryan described. He wasn't a stranger. He was someone we knew, someone I hadn't seen in a while, our cousin Daniel. I felt sick, betrayed, and terrified. Because whatever happened at that lake, it wasn't just an accident. Narrating. The name on the photo, Daniel Ward, our cousin. He vanished years ago, too. Sad. He was moving abroad. Told the family nothing. No calls. No updates. He'd always been strange, quiet, obsessed with control. A bit too attached to Lily. They were close growing up. Maybe too close. I always sensed tension, but I never imagined this. I kept the box hidden. Didn't tell Ryan Elliott. Didn't call the police. Not yet. I needed more answers. I dug through old emails, searched for his name online, and then I found something. A business license in Arizona under his name, filed 6 years ago. The listed address, A cabin near a trail. Near. The same forest preserve Ryan vanished in. I stared at the screen. Felt sick again. I booked a flight. Told. No one left Elliot with. A friend. Didn't tell Lily's. Husband. I had to know. Had to see it. 2 days later, Arizona. The cabin was quiet, dusty, secluded, just like I feared. I knocked once. No answer. Then again. Then I saw it, a child's jacket. On the porch, old blue, with the name tag inside. Ryan, my breath caught. I circled the house carefully. Number. Car. No dog. Just silence. Then I heard something, a faint scratch inside. I turned. The knob unlocked. I stepped. It slowly smelled like mold and wood, walls filled with old toys, kids' shoes, drawings, some with Ryan's handwriting. My stomach flipped. He lived here, but not alone. In a drawer, I found dozens of photos, kids of different ages, different faces, boys and girls. Were they all taken too? My fingers shook as I held a notebook. Inside, records. Dates, notes, entries like art. Refuses to forget. Tried new. Name again today. L panicked. After visit. Had to move. L, Lily, my blood went. Cold, she visited. After Ryan vanished, she knew where he was. She let him stay. I had to leave, fast. I took the book. The photos locked the cabin behind. Me. Back home, Elliot was safe. Still confused. Still healing. I didn't tell him. Not yet. But I filed everything. Gave the evidence anonymously. Let police trace it. They confirmed it. The cabin had been used for years. Off the record foster setups. Illegal adoptions. No formal charges. Yet, but the system was unraveling. Then I got the call Lily was found. In a motel 2 towns over, alive, drunk, and silent. They let me visit her. She barely looked up. Eyes hollow, voice low. I didn't want to lose him. I just couldn't raise him. After what Daniel told me. He said Ryan wasn't safe with. What did he mean? I asked. He said Ryan knew things. Things no child should know. I thought he meant abuse, but he meant memories, things from when we were kids. She started shaking, sobbing without sound. He convinced me Ryan was special, that he needed protection, that it was better if I let go. And you believed him? She looked at me, broken. I didn't know what else to believe. I wasn't stable. I failed him, Em. I didn't scream, didn't cry. I just stood up. You let your son disappear. Then you disappeared too. Now I'm the only one left trying to put him back together. Weeks passed. Lily entered a facility, Daniel? Still missing. Warrants out. No trace yet. But Elliot Ryan was healing. He started school again. Asked for his real name back. Said it felt strange at first, but right. He painted. Now wrote poems. Told stories. About a lake that wasn't scary anymore. One night he asked, "Can I call you?" "Mom?" I choked up. "You." "Already do," I whispered. I just never said it back. Emma, when people talk about loss, they usually mean funerals. They mean flowers, black clothes, casseroles, and awkward silence. But what if you lose someone without a grave, without goodbye, without any reason at all? Ryan vanished on a sunny day, a day filled with laughter, juice boxes, towels, duck, crumbs. One moment he was there, the next, just space. We waited by the water. We screamed ourselves hoarse. They searched the whole park. Helicopters circled. Divers dove. Then they left. But we stayed. Stuck. In that 1 second for 7 long, dry years. People told us to heal, told us to move on. But no one tells you how to grieve a maybe. A maybe that still breathes. To those watching this, tell me, have you ever waited so long that your grief became part of your bones? Have you ever stared out a window too long, wondering if they'd return? Did you keep the door unlocked, the light on, the room untouched? I did, every single day. Amen. People ask how it felt when he showed up again. When that boy stood outside and asked if I was his aunt, they think I screamed, that I cried, that I ran to him. But no, I froze, because his eyes, they were the same. But his voice wasn't, his posture wasn't, his soul wasn't. He had gaps. Not just in memory, but in comfort, like he didn't know how to belong anymore. He looked at the walls like he used to, but not with wonder, with calculation, with caution. He knew the hallway creaked. He remembered the fridge hum. He noticed the dented floor, where he once dropped spaghetti. But he flinched when I touched his arm. Like affection was a foreign language he hadn't spoken in years. And that's when I knew this wasn't just reunion. It was reconstruction. We weren't healing. We were rebuilding from ashdot. So I want to ask, what would you do if someone you lost came back changed? Would you celebrate blindly? Or would you wait and wonder what they saw, where they were, who they became without you? Would you feel joy or guilt for surviving, for not finding them sooner, for trying to move on when they were still breathing somewhere out there? That's the ache no one warns you about. The ache of partial returns. The ache of not knowing what version of them you're bringing home. Couldn't tell Lily, not the first night, not the second. She stopped calling again. She was falling apart quietly. But part of me wondered, was it guilt? Or fear? Did she already know? Had she guessed the truth? Had she buried something deeper than her grief all along? That's the thing about secrets. They don't disappear. They grow inside you, like vines through memory, twisting facts, smothering light. And when they surface, they don't knock gently. So tell me honestly, have you kept a secret so deep it hurt to breathe? One that rewrote your past the moment you spoke it? Have you been the one on the outside of truth? The last to know? The one everyone protected? Even when it destroyed you? If yes, you're not alone here. You're not broken. You were just never given the full story. Ryan asked me questions now. Little ones at first. Did I like pancakes? Did I like the lake? Did I have a dog? Then heavier ones. Why don't I remember birthdays? Why was I called Elliot? Why didn't anyone come? And the worst of all, did I matter back then? That one I couldn't answer right away. Because the truth? He mattered too much. So much that someone made the choice to hide him, to erase him, to protect him from something I still don't fully understand. And maybe that's the question. What's worse, losing someone or learning they were taken by someone you trusted? Would you want the truth even if it crushed you? Even if it made you doubt every hug, every word from the people you love? Can love and betrayal exist in the same family, the same room, the same mother? I don't have answers yet, but I'm here, and I'm listening. So if this story, if this boy's eyes, if this family's silence reminds you of someone, drop a comment below, even if it's just a name, even if it's one sentence you've never said out loud, because sometimes truth only survives when someone else speaks it too. If you soft voice, if you've been holding guilt, you can put it down here. If you've been waiting, you're not waiting alone. If you've been quiet, you're allowed to speak now. Ryan may not remember everything, but he remembers enough. And sometimes that's where healing begins. EMN narrating, some nights I still wonder, what if we'd arrived earlier? What if we'd noticed sooner? What if someone had stayed with Ryan that moment longer? It's a dangerous game, the what-if spiral. It eats at you slowly, turns memory into poison. But I still play it, because I need to believe that I could have changed something, that I wasn't just a passenger in his story. Because when he says aunt, I flinch. I know he doesn't mean harm, but it's a reminder I wasn't there. Not really. Not when it mattered, not when he vanished, not when he cried in some stranger's home. And now he's back but broken. And I'm here, still guilty, so I ask you now, have you ever failed someone without even knowing it? Been too late? Too silent? Too trusting of the wrong people? Have you been left out of the truth you deserved? Because they thought protecting you meant lying to you? Have you ever questioned memory? Wondered if your past was real or just what someone told you to believe? If you said yes, this story was made for you. Not because it's simple, but because it's true, and truth is what heals. Some days, Ryan's memories slip. He'll mention a dog again. We never had one, or ask about a toy he never owned. But then, he'll describe the smell of my mother's cinnamon tea, the scratchy voice of Grandpa singing off-tune lullabies, things he couldn't possibly remember. Not at 5, not after 7 stolen years. So maybe truth lingers, even when buried, even when forced under. It finds a way out. That's why I tell this. Not just for Ryan, not just for Lily, but for you. The one watching this video in silence. The one who knows something's wrong but hasn't said it aloud. Here's your moment. Write a name below. Of the person you lost. Of the person you still miss. Or maybe the one you never really knew. Share a memory. One sentence is enough. One truth that still echoes. And if you're ready, share this video with them. Even if they're gone. Even if they're not speaking. Even if they don't remember. Because some part of them might still be watching. Might still be waiting. Might still come back. Ryan is no longer 5. But some part of him still is. Still searching. Still listening for my voice. So I sing now? The same off-tune lullabies. The same soft hums from the picnic day. And every night he falls asleep faster. Maybe that's healing. Or maybe that's memory. Finally feeling safe enough to stay. Emma, it started with a letter. Folded in Lily's handwriting, left on my front porch. No knock, no footsteps. Just an envelope. Sealed with guilt. I opened it slowly. It smelled like dust and fear. The words inside shook me, not because of what they said, but because of what they confirmed. Lily's letter. Emma, if you're reading this, it means you've found Ryan, and it means the past refuses to stay buried. I need to tell you what I did, what Daniel made me believe, and why I let it happen. Emma, I couldn't breathe. I sat down, shaking. The rest of the letter was written like confession, like release, like punishment. Lily's letter. Daniel wasn't just our cousin. He was my half-brother. Dad had an affair. No one knew. Only Mom. When she died, I found her old journals, letters between her and Daniel's mother. That's how I learned the truth. I kept it hidden, but Daniel didn't. He found me, said we were blood siblings, said we were connected. I believed him because I was lonely, because I was broken after Ryan's father left. And Daniel was kind at first. Then he changed, got possessive, controlling. He didn't like Ryan, said something was wrong with him, that Ryan remembered too much, things he shouldn't, things I didn't teach him. He started calling Ryan the Echo. I thought he was crazy, but then Ryan started drawing pictures of things he'd never seen, pictures of Daniel, of me crying. One day, Ryan told me about a locked basement, about noises under the floor, about Daniel's voice in dreams. That's when I panicked. That's when I called Daniel, and I told him to make it stop. I didn't mean disappear. I didn't mean erase, but he took him anyway. Narrating. I dropped the letter. My hands went numb. Daniel wasn't just dangerous. He was family, buried family. And Ryan remembered things we never told him. Things Daniel had done before the picnic, before the lake, before the day everything shattered. And Lily, she let it happen. Not out of malice, but fear. I picked the letter up again. There was more. Lily's letter, voiceover. I know what I did will never be forgivable, but I didn't know how to protect him. I was scared of Daniel and scared of myself. I know he'll hate me. I already hate me. But if he asks, please tell him the truth. Not the lie I told, that he ran away, that he was taken. Tell him he was loved, even when I was weak, even when I failed. Narrating. I cried in silence. For Ryan, for Lily, for the mother she tried to be, and for the sister I didn't recognize anymore. Then I heard it, Ryan's voice from his room. RYN, voiceover. Emma, I had that dream again. Narrating. I wiped my face quickly, went to his door. He sat up, breathing fast, sweating, eyes wide. I was in a basement. He whispered. Someone kept whispering my name, not yelling, just whispering it. He looked at me. Did I ever go there? I froze. He didn't know, but his body remembered. I sat beside him, brushed the hair from his face. There are things we'll talk about, hard things, but not tonight. No, narrating. Because tonight, I had to find Daniel. Narrating. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept hearing Ryan's voice, the basement, the whispers, and Lily's letter repeating, he called him the Echo. What did it mean? What was Ryan remembering? I opened my laptop, searched everything I could. Daniel Ward groups, missing children. One thread kept appearing, a closed shelter case. Shut down 3 years ago. Operated under a false name. Location, Redwood Pines, Utah, the same town as Daniel's fake license. Same cabin area, same trail. I booked a one-way ticket. Didn't tell anyone. Not even Ryan, especially not him. Because if what I found was as dark as feared, he needed protection from it. Redwood Pines, Utah. The town was empty. One diner. One post office. One broken sign that read, "We take care of our own." I asked about the cabin. Locals said it was haunted. Voices in the night. No one lasts long there. I didn't flinch. I believed them. I followed the forest trail, cold, still, no birds. No crunch underfoot, just silence. Then I saw it, the old cabin. Different from the last, smaller, deeper in. Windows were boarded, but the door, slightly open. I stepped inside slowly. It smelled like old wood, burnt wires, and something else, faint, but familiar, tea, cinnamon, my mother's scent. Imam, narrating, the living room was covered in notebooks, all handwritten, each with names on them. Children's names, some crossed out, some circled. One notebook was marked, Echo Study, RJ. I opened it. Read through tears. RJ sees too much. He remembers her death. The lake triggered something. Echoes are unpredictable. Another page read, she won't believe it. She's afraid to face it. But the boy knows. He draws the accident. I flipped faster. More entries. He drew the fall again. Same red dress. Same blood. I think it was real. Was it Lily's mother? I stopped breathing. Was it my mother? Or Lily's mother? The one who died in her sleep? I dug deeper. A folder beneath the bed. Photos, documents, old journals. One photo stopped me cold. A girl falling off the cliffside, blurry, red dress. Exactly like Ryan's drawing. The back was labeled 1977, the first witness. Emma narrating, it wasn't about Ryan, it never was. Daniel believed certain children could remember what others forgot. He called them echoes. He believed they were reincarnations of silent stories. Ryan remembered something he never saw. A death never spoken about. A secret covered by family. That's why Daniel panicked. Why he took Ryan, why Lily believed him. Because Ryan wasn't just a child. To Daniel, he was a threat to truth. A mirror of the past that refused to stay buried. Then I heard footsteps behind me, creaking slowly, dragging across floorboards. Daniel stood in the doorway, older, hollow-eyed, holding a rusted lantern. "You came," he whispered. "I thought you would." Narrating, Ryan still sleeps beside me. He dreams lighter now. Not because it's over, but because he's not alone. The truth broke everything open, but it also gave light. Light to stories buried deep, to wounds passed down silently. And now I ask you, what secrets shaped your family? What names were never spoken? What pain was renamed past? Tell your story below. Even one sentence is enough. Because truth heals in pieces, and someone may need yours. Comment if you've survived loss, silence, betrayal, or forgetting. This space is for you. Share this video with anyone still waiting. Waiting for answers, for healing, for a voice in the dark. Because the boy came home, not as a miracle, but as proof. That memory returns. That love survives. That silence breaks if someone is brave enough to speak first. Are you?